Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to start hopefully a new series. I'll see how you guys like it. I just want to go through basically a color series and talk about my favorite polishes from each color category. And these polishes aren't necessarily going to be like the most worn in a color, but just the ones that I'm the most attracted to, the ones that I maybe the most worn, and the ones I just like to look at the most, the ones that I think about the most when I'm thinking about nail polish, which is most of the time. So we're just gonna go in Roy G. Biv, color order. So this first video is gonna be red and also pinks, because what is pink if not light red? Is that controversial? I'm not sure, but I'm only gonna do 5 reds and 5 pinks for this video. I could do probably way more, but the reason why I'm doing like fewer in this one is just because I like the concept of a red nail polish, but I don't find myself drawn to the crazy finishes in the red tones, and I don't even actively wear red a lot because I cannot remove a red polish to save my life. It stains my skin so badly, and I'm not careful when I take it off, even though I know. I'm like, I'm going to take this red off, and I'm going to get it everywhere, so I should be cautious, and then I'm just like, so we're only doing 5 reds and 5 pinks because otherwise this video will go on forever. So I'm just going to, I have a couple little piles sitting next to me, and I'm just going to go through each one, talk about it a little bit, and show you probably a wheel swatch of each one, just so you can kind of see the color. So the first polish that I have chosen is Forever Yummy by Essie. Now this one, I knew this was the first one I thought of because this is the red that I take on every trip with me. I think that it is a really classic looking red, and these are the types of reds that I'm attracted to, is these kind of like slightly vibrant, just they remind me of I don't know, like in a cartoon, you see a woman with like red nails and red lips, like it's this kind of a red. And so I really like this one. It goes, like I said, with me on every vacation, every trip, whatever, because I just feel like it's the perfect red for any situation. So I like this one. And then kind of in a similar vein, I also have a couple that are just a similar tone. I have the Smith & Colt Kundalini Hustle, and this one is a, would you call it more orangey red? I'm not sure. It's a little bit more vibrant than Forever Yummy if you put them next to each other. Can you tell? Yeah, like Forever Yummy is a little bit darker, and then this one's a little bit brighter. And part of the reason that I like this is, again, it has that like classic red feel, but also it looks just so beautiful in this bottle. Like, it's like art. I love this. I for as expensive as the Smith & Colt polishes are, they are so beautiful in the bottle. And the last red in that kind of like classic red color would be My Bad by Ice Cream Nails. Now this one is a little bit different because it's a jelly, and I had never had a red jelly before this, and I only started getting into jellies probably within the past like year or so, like last year, I guess. And that was because before I just hated the fact that you could see my visible nail line in it. I thought it looked gross. But I feel like now it's kind of more trendy, and I don't feel as like self-conscious about it. It's a weird thing to be self-conscious about, isn't it? Like, oh no, they can see my nail line. What are they gonna think of me? But I really did feel that way. I was like, people, like, I would never go anywhere without nail polish on, and I would never wear anything where you could see my visible nail line because I thought people were going to be like, ew, that's gross. Nobody is looking about my nails and thinking about it that hard. I don't know. I guess it was just like the ego. But yeah, so these 3, wow, they look like exactly the same. Like, so these are 3 of the reds. And then the other red that I have, the 4th red, is it La Moss or LA Moss? I'm not sure, by Butter London. Somebody in the comments, please tell me, is it La or LA in this name? But this is kind of like a vampy oxblood red. And I remember one Christmas we went to see my boyfriend's family, and I had a dress that was this exact color. So I wore the dress and I wore this nail polish, and I felt very chic. And there's just something about these really dark, like ox blood red colors where it just looks almost black in a way. And it's just really like sexy gothic vampire, very Twilight era. But I like it, that's just I just totally dropped it. I really like this color. It just makes you feel very mysterious. So this one is another one that when I think what is my favorite red, one of the first that pops into my head. And then the last red, and then we'll get into the pinks, which was actually hard for me to narrow down. So the last red is Star Spangled by Orly. And the reason why this is one of my favorite reds is because when I moved out of the country for a while, I was only allowed to take so many nail polishes on the plane to move to my new home, and I had to literally sit there and narrow down. I'm like looking at my nail polishes, and I had my boyfriend sit there with me and help me decide which nail polishes I should bring, because I guess I needed him to like help contain me. And this was one that we decided on together because this was a very important decision. And I just remember wearing this a ton because I only had, I think I was allowed to bring maybe 20, which seems like it should be enough, but it's not. So I was wearing the same 20 nail polishes for a while, and gosh, wasn't that miserable. But I wore this one a ton, and so I just have fond memories of it. And it was just, I realized, when I had to narrow down my collection to like 20 nail polishes, this was one of the ones I picked. So, and I think it was this and Forever Yummy were at the time the only reds in my collection that I brought with me. I didn't have these other ones, but my collection was much smaller back then. So that's it for the reds. I don't have a ton of reds that I really love. Like I said, I love the idea of a red nail polish, but in practice, I just don't wear them a ton. I don't know what it is. Like, I think that if I had some with like more fun finishes, maybe I would, but even then, like some of the ones that I have with fun finishes, they're just not the right tone of red for me. Like they have that kind of like orangier lean to them, and so I don't know, I'm just not super into it. So let's move on to the pinks, which it was way harder for me to narrow down. When you're looking at like the composition of my collection, I have 995 nail polishes, and only I'm looking at my spreadsheet data here, 65 of those polishes are red, which, if you care, is 6.53% of my collection. Now, when we're talking about pinks, it is the third largest color category in my collection, and I have 139 pink nail polishes, or 13.97% of my collection, so about 14%. So I'm really attracted to pink nail polish, which made this a lot harder to narrow it down. I had a lot that popped into my head at first, but I didn't want to go overboard with this video, so I just picked 5. So the first one I want to show you is OPI's Bubble Bath. I consider this a pink. It looks pink on me. I think some people would consider it like in the nude category. I look at some things and I'm just like, is that a nude? I don't know, because like nudes are more of a concept than an actual color. So what's nude on one person might not be nude on another. And so I'm just going to call this one pink because that's what I feel like it is. Now, this color is like perfect for any kind of like nail art where you want a really light wash of color in the background, but you don't want to really commit to anything too bright because you want the nail art to be the focus. I think this is great for a professional setting. A couple coats of this. It's a very like subtle, clean looking manicure. I like it. It's good for like a job interview, any kind of work event, any kind of place where you have to be calm and collected and chill with your wardrobe. A lot of things which I am not. And so this is the one that I kind of like lean on in that category. It's a really good, it's an OPI staple. Like I think that when people talk about OPIs that you gotta have, this is always in that list. Now for the next 4, I'm going to say that you're probably going to be able to see a trend in these, in that I just love really bright, vibrant, neon, in-your-face kind of pinks. So The next one we're going to talk about is China Glaze Flip Flop Fantasy, which I doubt is even registering correctly on the camera because it's just such a weird pink. It's kind of like an orangey pink. Would you call that a peach? I guess. I have no idea what I'm saying half the time. And it is such a great color. It's so beautiful. It's such a fun, like, kind of bleached looking neon. Perfect for summer. If you're tanner, it looks really, really pretty against like a tan skin tone. But the only problem with this is that the formula is god awful. It is the worst formula you will ever work with. You got to be quick. You got to be like really good at manipulating the polish, but you don't want to over manipulate it because then it's going to look bumpy. So if China Glaze could please just fix this formula of Flip Flop Fantasy, then we'd be good. Me and China Glaze would have solid repertoire. But this is another one that I did take abroad with me. This was just another one that made that final cut. And it's just, I wear this a lot. I usually don't wear stuff based on the season, but I do wear this one a lot more in the summer. It's just a good summer color. Piggybacking off of that, because it's like the exact same like idea but lighter, and this is going to be Color Club's Hot 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 Pants. Another one that doesn't really read on camera very well because it's that bleached neon. And this is one that Jody's Polish talked about like a ton. Like in every like 3 videos she would talk about Hot 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 Pants. And so finally I was like, all right, whatever, I'll go look at it. I'll look at it and I'll buy it and then I'll never have to hear about it again. And then I fell in love with it. And the formula is better than the China Glaze one, but you know what? They're not the same color, so you have to have them both. I have to have them both. You don't need anything. Don't buy these. Stop buying things. But yeah, so that's just another one that I think is a really fun, like, bleached neon color. And then we have Orly's Beach Cruiser. This is just, Orly has like a bunch of these kind of like fuchsia, pink, like borderline neon colors. And I have like 4 of them. Why? And they all, like, looking at them top down, they look almost identical. So when I was like in my drawers, I pull it out and I see like 4 that look almost exactly the same. And yet I still was able to be like, that one's Beach Cruiser. I know that one's the one. Which should tell you just how unhealthily connected I am to my collection here. How much I just look at it and just open it up and go, let me just look at my nail polishes. So, but this is another good summer color if you're into that. I think this one's fun for my toes. I like a really like vibrant pink on my toenails for some reason. There are some colors that I just think look better on your toes. I don't know why. I cannot explain it. Does anybody else like have that experience? Like when I wear oranges on my hands, I feel like I look like strained peaches. But when I wear them on my toes, I'm like, whatever, that's fine. Maybe because nobody can see them. And then the last pink that I have to show you, it's kind of in between those. Like it's kind of a bleached pink, but it's kind of a bright pink. And it has like some texture to it. And it's Pomegranate Refresher by 90 Lacquer. And this one, all the ones in this Refresher series, or is it Refresher? It's like the smoothie bar series that she's done. They look so cool. These like black chunky flecks that run throughout just really make these polishes pop. And the black against this like more neon leaning pink, it just looks super cool. So I really, really love this pink, and I know I'm going to get some good use out of it this summer. So that's going to be it for my first installment of my color series. I think that going forward, I'm probably going to do, 10 of each color category. I just figured red and pinks are kind of very similar, so I squished them together. And probably because I don't have that many reds, I needed to. But let me know down below, what are your favorite reds and pink polishes? And do you have like a special like finish or type of pink or red that you really like? Like obviously I really like neon kind of pinks and like a classic like candy apple red. So let me know what your favorites are down below. Let me know if we have any favorites in common, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.